So she was at a storytellers conference at Medgar Evers College, for those who don't know, because I know this is international. Akua is doing it international. That's in Brooklyn, New York, Medgar Evers College. And Toni Cade Bambara said this. She said, I know we must reclaim those bones in the Atlantic Ocean. Do you know that there is not a plaque, a memorial, a day, a ritual, or an hour that is erected in memory to those 100 million bodies in the Atlantic Ocean? All those African bones in the briny deep. All those people who said no and jumped ship. All those people who tried to figure a way to steer, to navigate amongst the sharks. We don't call upon that power. We don't call upon those spirits. We don't celebrate those ancestors. We don't have a marker, an expression, a song that we use to acknowledge them. We have nothing to indicate that those are our people. And they mattered.
Mm.
We willingly self-administer knockout drops. More horrendous is the fact that we don't tap into the ancestral presence in the waters. Ashe, Toni Cade Bambara. So she said those words at a storytellers conference in 1987. In 1989, Dr. Mary Umolo and Brother Tony Akeem of the People of the Sun Collective got together, and they had their first tribute to the ancestors at Coney Island. And from that tribute, you know, I believe, Deborah, I think Charleston was next. Am I correct? That Charleston was the next?
That's correct.
To form a remembrance ceremony. And really the name Remembrance, I gotta give credit where credit is due now. You know, there are many names that we call these tributes to the ancestors. We call, in Swahili, it's Maafa. You know, it's a terrible occurrence. We call them tributes to the ancestors, right? Ancestral Day. We have a lot of different names. But Remembrance was a name that Deborah pushed for and actually called her ceremony in South Carolina Remembrance. And, you know, we have to, again, another mother of a movement, right? And so I came down to South Carolina when Deborah moved there, watched her do the ceremony, was so moved. And I had been to Coney Island. Then I came to South Carolina, saw her do the ceremony, was so moved. I decided I wanted to do one in Hampton because of the history of Hampton, Virginia being the bookends of the African American experience as it relates to enslavement, because we know that Africans existed in the Americas prior to enslavement. You know, Ivan Van Sertima told us that, right? They came before Columbus. We came before Columbus. But I wanted to do one in Hampton, Virginia. And Deborah said, I'll come. Deborah came down from South Carolina, came up to Virginia, and she helped me orchestrate the remembrance ceremony and gave me all the pointers of what to do and how to do. And so, you know, it has grown tremendously. This movement that started from, you know, her mouth, right? She gave voice to a call. I say she put out a call out there into the community. You know, that's part of her activism. She put that call out and said, we need to honor these ancestors. I refer to these ancestors as the Africans that the world forgot, because everyone remembers what happened during slavery. They know that a ship came, loaded Africans. They were dropped off in the Caribbean and the United States and Europe and all these places. But no one talks about what happened during the middle. No one talks about those that fought back and resisted a life of enslavement, those who jumped, as she said, into the shark-infested waters, that drowned, those who were healthy and were thrown into the Atlantic Ocean because they were running out of food or because they were the resistors. You know, the lie that they tell us, or the lie that has been told, is that Africans did not resist. We have always resisted the oppressive forces. We resisted on the shores of Africa. We resisted on the ships. We resisted coming off of the ships, and we're still resisting, looking at what is happening with these current situations of Black people dying at the hands of racial terror, is what I call it.
Yes.
So we've always resisted. But yes, it goes back to the mothers of the movement. And the piece was in 2014, and it was called Mothers of the Movement, Remembering Bambara and the African Bones of the Briny Deep.